Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and I'm finally home. I was in attendance at One Jets Drive at training camp this morning, and I got my in-person takeaways and what I took away from the New York Jets practice this morning. The Jets now have 2 days off until Sunday, so I'm really excited to give you guys my thoughts of what we saw from the New York Jets at training camp this morning, give you guys a little injury update, some drama, Sean Payton calling some shots at the New York Jets, and Robert Saleh had something very interesting to say back to Sean Payton. We also got some news that Dalvin Cook is officially visiting the New York Jets. So this is going to be a jam-packed video. I'm excited to present this to you guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are inching so close to 18,000 subscribers. So help out your boy to hit that big-time milestone. And if you guys enjoy the content here, simply do me a gigantic favor by also hitting that like button and commenting your thoughts of the New York Jets training camp this morning. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So first, let's talk about the injury news. Good news, CJ Uzomah is back at practice. He's officially activated off the PUP list, so good to see our tight end out there. Bad news, as you guys saw, I was the one to really give you guys as much updates as I possibly can about the Garrett Wilson news. So, Garrett Wilson tweaked his ankle. As of right now, there's no official diagnosis, but based off what I saw, it looked like Garrett Wilson tweaked his ankle, rolled it, and I'm assuming it's going to be an ankle sprain, and he's going to be out of practice for a couple of weeks. And the good news is it's July. So, the fact that it happened in July, he's good to go by week 1, but the issue is not getting on the same page with Aaron Rodgers in the offense. But then again, Garrett Wilson's been lighting up training camp since he got here. And that's the good news, is that Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers already seem to be on the same page. So it doesn't feel like Garrett Wilson missing time in practice is going to hurt their chemistry at all. But definitely unfortunate. You never want to see one of your best players go down with any sort of injury. Basically what happened, it was the first Aaron Rodgers pass attempt of 11 on 11. Somebody went offsides and it was a free play. Aaron Rodgers threw up a go ball to Garrett Wilson and it was double coverage, and Garrett Wilson goes up to try to get it, and he comes down, his ankle twists, and it looked like he tweaked it. So hopefully it's just a sprained ankle. Robert Saleh said that they're not too concerned about it being anything significant. He was limping, very minor limp, so don't really worry. I know a lot of people are frustrated and upset about this because this is the worst part of training camp. The worst part of the game, the sport of football, is injuries. Any sport, the worst part of it is injuries. We all understand that. We want to stay healthy as much as possible, but Garrett Wilson tweaked his ankle. Seemed to be okay. Waiting to hear a full diagnosis in the next couple of days by the New York Jets. Also, Corey Davis was not at practice today because he has an illness. He woke up with some type of viral virus, so that's the reason why Corey Davis was not there. And Allen Lazard is still not practicing. So the Jets receivers seem to be a little banged up right now, but it's all good because guys like Jason Brownlee stepped up, and we're going to talk about him. But before we get into Jason Brownlee and what happened at the practice field this morning, I do want to just briefly talk about the report that Dalvin Cook is officially coming to the New York Jets to visit them on Sunday. This is great news because I personally have been on Dalvin Cook to come to the Jets for quite some time, and it's really awesome to see him finally coming to the training facility because Robert Saleh said they want to check him out physically, make sure that he's all good, and get him in the building. If he comes here, don't let him walk out without signing a deal. Robert Saleh said that, quote, he's dynamic, and it has nothing to do with Breece Hall's recovery. Robert Saleh went on to say that Breece Hall is freakish and they got to slow him down because Breece Hall looks bigger, he looks faster, and he is way ahead of schedule on his ACL recovery. So great news coming out of Breece Hall's recovery. So anybody wondering why the Jets are signing Dalvin Cook, it has nothing to do with Breece Hall, having any type of setback. They simply want to pair up Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, which would be the best 1-2 punch in the NFL. And you got Michael Carter being that third back who's going to definitely still have an impact in this offense. We still got Izzy. We still got Bam Knight. The running back room is going to be just fine, and Dalvin Cook is going to be a big-time get. Hopefully, the New York Jets can ink it up. It's not guaranteed. Anything can happen, but all stars are aligning to Dalvin Cook coming to the New York Jets. Now, getting into some drama with Robert Saleh. All right, so Sean Payton comes out of nowhere today, and he has to say, call shots about Nathaniel Hackett, saying that it was one of the worst head coaching jobs ever last year. And then he went on to talk about the New York Jets, how we're winning the offseason and we're on Hard Knocks, and just talking crap about the Jets. And Robert Saleh had the best quote I've ever heard him said. He said, quote, if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, so hate away. And have I not been saying that to all you guys on my channel? Literally every single live stream when there's hate coming, I always say, folks, without the Jets being this good, there's no haters. So welcome the hate, because the hate means that the Jets are doing something right. And the fact that Sean Payton went out of his way to say that, not only about Nathaniel Hackett, but the New York Jets organization, and we have the Denver Broncos on the schedule on week number 5. Ooh, things are going to get spicy, baby. I'm a fan. I like this drama. Things are heating up. You can definitely tell that the Jets have a target on their back, and soak it in, Jets fans. You'd rather have a target on our back because we're doing something right than us being just a crappy organization with no expectations of being a bottom 10 team in the NFL like this team has been, honestly, for quite some time. So it feels good to be on the other side of things when people are taking shots of us because we're doing something right. And Sean Payton saying like, oh, we won the offseason. What do we do besides bringing Aaron Rodgers, right? That's it. We added a quarterback, and now all of a sudden, Sean Payton is saying all this nonsense and had to take shots at Nathaniel Hackett. And by the way, Hackett's our offensive coordinator, not our head coach. So I'm excited to see what Hackett can do. I think he's going to do a great job here with Aaron Rodgers. So that's my thoughts of the Sean Payton thing and the Robert Saleh talk. Now let's get into what happened on the practice field this morning. The first player I want to talk about is definitely undrafted free agent Jason Brownlee, because he was magnificent today. He had 2 touchdowns. One of them, he beat Sauce Gardner off the line. Did look like he might have grabbed Sauce Gardner's face mask and ripped him away, which resulted in the touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. But Jason Brownlee has definitely been one of the stars of camp. Robert Saleh was asked about Jason Brownlee, and he had an interesting quote to say. Saleh actually said that the Jets were looking to draft Jason Brownlee in day number 3, and in every single draft pick on day 3, he was like one player away. Instead, they obviously went with Zach Kuntz, or they went with Zaire Barnes, but Jason Brownlee was in the consideration for every single draft pick on day number 3, and the Jets still end up getting him in undrafted free agency. So that's kind of a little tip where I believe Jason Brownlee is going to make the team. This really makes me feel like he's going to make the team even more so. The fact that the Jets really wanted to draft him, and he's been freaking elite. I mean, he's going up there getting mossing over Brandon Echols, getting touchdowns. I mean, he's a lot bigger than you think. I didn't really know too much about him coming out of college, not going to lie. But when you see him in person, he's 6'2". He's a big body. He can go up there, make get the 50-50 balls. He's fast. I mean, obviously, there's some parts of his game and he's to develop in order to be a real NFL receiver. But all signs are pointing of Jason Brownlee making this team and making some big-time impact as that wide receiver number 6. And with Garrett Wilson going down, with Allen Lazard being out with some tightness, and Corey Davis being out with an illness, Jason Brownlee's only going to get more significant reps. So definitely big-time stuff from Jason Brownlee. He had 2 touchdowns today. Awesome to see him contributing big time. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Jets' run game. Jets' run game has been a little slow so far in training camp, but today they look pretty good. Bam Knight got into the end zone in the red zone to finish off practice. The offensive line was opening up holes for the run game, which is definitely a good sign. Not to say the first play of 11 on 11 was actually a Quinnen Williams tackle for loss on Michael Carter. Literally ate him up. Basically, Rodgers almost handed the ball off to Quinnen Williams because Williams was back in the backfield that fast. I mean, that's how good Q is. He's the best player on the New York Jets. There's another play in the red zone where Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson set the edge and had another tackle for loss on Michael Carter. So not to say the defense is not still eating up the run game, but there were some good flashes of holes being opened up. Michael Carter had a good run. Then Bam Knight got into the end zone. So things are trending in the right direction. The offensive line is still a little shaky right now in terms of who's going to be the offensive tackle on the left side and the right side. Today, Max Mitchell was at left tackle for back-to-back practices. Billy Turner was over there at right tackle. Mekhi Becton did practice today, but he did not participate in team drills. So it does seem like the Jets are keeping on a pitch count. There's reports saying that he injured his knee. He would not be practicing and doing drills if he injured his knee. So the Jets are just trying to ease him in and make sure Mekhi Becton's good to go, and just making sure that they're slow and steady with Mekhi Becton, which is smart. You want to see them being smart with their offensive line. So overall, run game was a little better today, but there's still some things to figure out. Bring in Dalvin Cook, get Breece Hall in there, and then we got a serious run game. But that offensive line is the most important piece of that run game, in my opinion. Elijah Vera-Tucker, Laken Tomlinson, those are our left and right guards, but the 2 tackle spots in the center spot is an open competition, and I'm curious to see what happens there. Dwayne Brown still got to return to practice, who's probably going to win that left tackle job based off what Aaron Rodgers had to say about him. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, talking about Aaron Rodgers real quick, I just want to talk about that $35 million pay cut and the impact it's going to have and what he did at practice today. I mean, the fact that Aaron Rodgers took $35 million to be able off in order to open up the New York Jets financial flexibility to pursue a guy like Dalvin Cook. Shows you the type of person he is and shows you the type of selfless act that he and the trust that he has in this Jets organization. But that really just sends a message to us fans that Rodgers understands that the New York Jets gave up a lot for Rodgers, and he does not want us Jets fans to feel like Rodgers is coming here for 1 year and he's not giving us anything in return. He's given up money in order for the Jets to build around him to go all in. What more can you ask for from Aaron Rodgers? But today, Rodgers didn't really have any flashiness. You know, it was a lot of short passes, intermediate passes. Did have that touchdown to Jason Brownlee with Sauce Gardner on coverage. So that's a good sign. But the offense still got some little kinks to figure out, and Rodgers didn't really have his top receivers to throw to today. Didn't have Lazard, didn't have Corey, didn't have Garrett Wilson. So Rodgers is still figuring himself out and figuring out this Jets offense and trying to get on the same page with his weapons. But overall, Rodgers looked good as usual. I mean, he's never out there just looking like a bad quarterback. He's just making throws where you're just like, damn, that's Aaron freaking Rodgers. Yep, he's our quarterback. Now, speaking of the backup quarterback, Zach Wilson looked good yet again. Zach Wilson had a crazy highlight, no look to Kenny Yeboah over the middle of the field. When I was at practice, I didn't notice it was a no look in person, but woo. Okay, Zach. I mean, Zach Wilson is literally looking like a baby Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's just practice here, but he's looking better in practice than he ever did in first year of training camp and second year of training camp, and you got to be good in practice in order to be good in the game. So this is a really promising sign that Zach Wilson is developing. He had a good touchdown to end off practice as well. He just looks like so comfortable in the pocket. He's scanning the field. He looks more poised, and the fact that he's throwing some no-look dimes, I don't know, looking pretty good. So shout out to Zach Wilson, man. He continues to progress and continues to have a stellar training camp in year number 3. The offense finished off practice by winning in the red zone by simply scoring a touchdown, which resulted in the defense having to do push-ups to finish off practice. So the offense technically won the day, if anybody was curious. Special teams report, Greg Zuerlein, money. 7 for 7, 2 for 2 from 50 plus, and then he just hit everything. Hit every single extra point, hit every 40-yarder, hit every 35-yarder. Greg Zuerlein seems to be money, and I think that's something that's being swept under the rug by Jets fans. We got to start appreciating that we actually might have a kicker. Don't forget, 3 years ago, the Jets had a kicking nightmare. So the fact that we have Greg Zuerlein coming back, who had a pretty good season last year, he's money in training camp. Every camp practice I've been to, he hasn't missed. So Greg Zuerlein, shout out to you. You're doing your damn thing. Some flashy plays that I noticed that I definitely want to talk about. Quincy Williams had an impressive pass breakup on Aaron Rodgers, and CJ Mosley almost picked it off the deflection. It was a rifle from Rodgers over the middle of the field. Forgot who the intended target was, but he was open. But Quincy Williams was in a zone, and he jumped up really high and basically just deflects the ball. The ball was patted up in the air. CJ Mosley tried to dive and pick it off, but CJ was not able to pick it off. That's good because we need Quincy Williams to be better in terms of in-zone coverage. That's one of his weaknesses as a linebacker, and I think Quincy Williams is developing before our very eyes. Robert Saleh had a lot of promising things to say about Quincy Williams, that he's understanding the playbook more. He's not relying on CJ Mosley to give him the play call. He knows the play call. He knows what's coming. So Quincy Williams is a linebacker that I think is going to have a really good season. Not a lot of Jets fans are really excited about, and they should be. DJ Reed continues his stellar camp. I think that he's another player that's getting, not talked about in terms of training camp. I mean, he has been locked down. There's never been an opportunity for DJ Reed to not make a play. Every time the ball's thrown his way, he is sticky in coverage. He had a crazy pass breakup that the Jets posted all over social media. So DJ Reed continues to be one of the stars of that defense. And then Sauce Gardner versus Jason Brownlee. I definitely want to talk about that matchup because there was a play where Sauce Gardner was playing off Jason Brownlee, and then last minute he goes up and presses him and then gets in Jason Brownlee's head, and then Brownlee flinches and they get a false start on Brownlee. Now, the reason why I say that is because the very next play is when Brownlee gets that touchdown from Aaron Rodgers with Sauce in coverage. So I thought that was interesting. Brownlee got a little upset. He's like, Sauce got me there. I'm going to get him back. And then that's exactly what Brownlee did. And he beat Sauce off the line more than I've ever seen anybody beat Sauce off the line in practice. Now, granted, it definitely looked like Brownlee got a little grabby and like kind of threw him off and then got to the end zone to the touch to get that score from Aaron Rodgers. But definitely some promising signs from Jason Brownlee. And when it comes to the pass rush, they're getting to the quarterback pretty much consistently. I mean, Michael Clemens had a sack, Bryce Huff had a sack. All the boys that you'd assume get some sacks get to the quarterback pretty much consistently. So that offensive line, you know, it's not like they're giving up sacks every other play, but it definitely feels like the pass rush is getting the better of the Jets offensive line early in camp. So that's really my thoughts of what I saw in person today at the New York Jets training camp. I cannot wait to be back there. If you guys have an extra ticket for Sunday, I would love to go. Don't have a ticket right now, but I love going to practice. It's a long drive for me here on Long Island, but it's always a pleasure to be there. So that wraps up this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and takeaways down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button if you did not already. And of course, comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji if you stayed all the way into the end of the video. That wraps up this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go Jets. Peace out.